VR to survival prepping for normal people. What he fought for. Yet again, I am moved to respond to a video by Kyle of Survival Prepping for Normal People YouTube channel. In this first clip, he speaks of they.
It's not about being a quitter. If you don't do these videos every day, if you're not trying to share this information with people, if you're not trying to reach out and help others, you really wouldn't understand how difficult it can be just to have a conversation with like-minded people. They don't think like we do. They don't care what we think. Now, if your channel is a freaking 15-minute, well-edited HD infomercial, you don't have any problems. If you're completely commercialized, they don't care because they understand something very fundamental. You're in it for the money. If you're like me and some of these other smaller channels that I mentioned, and you're trying to reach out and actually help people and maybe make a difference, maybe wake a few people up and confirm to others that they're not crazy, that they're not alone in the way they think, okay, then you got a problem because you're dangerous to their mode of thinking. You are the worst kind of person. They don't want you on this platform. If you're here to make money and be a shill, hey, no problem. If you believe in telling the truth and actually helping people, maybe motivating people to think for themselves, oh no, that puts you high up there on their public enemies list.
I surely understand. I have been reaching out for over a decade now, trying to help humanity. Surely it is increasingly difficult, and if they have their way, it will be impossible. I am definitely not in it for the money. I don't monetize, and if ever you see any ad here, they put it here and give me nothing. I am about removing the need for money. Indeed, as money is their only tool to power over others, my work is seen as dangerous to them, and they stoop to bullying, which censorship is. The question becomes, who are they? In this response, I will be addressing who I see that they are. Kyle continues, discussing a bill that has been offered up by Dan Crenshaw and Brian Babin most prominently, an Orwellian bullying by the inner party. They.
To the meat of this video, do you recognize the person in the thumbnail? Most of you probably do. His name is Dan Crenshaw. He's a congressman who represents the 2nd Congressional District of Texas. He's also a retired Navy Lieutenant Commander who was a Navy SEAL, fought in Afghanistan, was wounded in action. That's why he has one eye. He's not a patch. Or the other eye. He is the co-sponsor of a bill that was put forward by the congressman from my congressional district, Brian Babin, who represents the 36th Congressional District of Texas, and the bill is called TAPS, Threat Assessment, Protection, and Safety Act. Now, their goal in having this law, or this bill become law, is to prevent acts of violence, like school shootings, people getting into rental vans and running down sidewalks and mowing people over. You know all the kind of stories I'm talking about.
TAPS, Threat Assessment, Protection, and Safety. I do ponder whether they worked on something that uses a similar acronym to my forum. Tap You're It. I know that there is a fair degree of interest in what I am doing on my forum from officials in the control structure, and I present my analysis and discussion there of a solution I see to them. The acronym in my forum title stands for the Abundance Paradigm, which, about 6 months after I introduced TAP, a tacky New Age piece came out with the same title, likely an effort to obfuscate my work, given I initially posted it on a CIA site. At the time, I did not know it was CIA. About the school shootings, vehicle attacks, bombs going off. When one analyzes the data from these, it becomes quite clear that there is a high probability that these events are staged, manufactured, scripted, and did not go down as we are told. Of course, they have been Fahrenheit 451ing such data, striking and removing any analysis, wiping information from the web, banning the ones who would wake others up to this probability. Considering the fact that mass shootings and other reported violence seemingly have increased 1,000-fold since they stripped the protection from propaganda in 2012 with the Smith-Lunt Modernization Act, and that the big media fought and won against an effort to require the news be true to the best of the media's ability, and that the news is listed as entertainment. What is the probability that all these stories are organic and true? What is the probability that they were manufactured, designed to push agendas, like getting plausibility going so they can cram taps down our throats?
Now, almost without exception, probably 99% of the time, these people that commit these acts are already on the radar of the local police or sheriff's department. But because law enforcement fails to act, because there is no intervention, these people go out and commit these things, and everybody says, oh yeah, we saw all these red flags, we saw all the signs, oh my god. And then all these stories start coming out of the woodwork about how this guy was some kind of total shitbag and a ticking time bomb, and it was just a matter of time until he did something so egregious that it was on national news.
I suggest that that is part of the script too, to give the idea that if we just had the power to take them out before they did something, this wouldn't have happened. And given they own the entertainment media called the national news, of course they would put it out through that avenue.
Well, what this law will do, they will pre-screen you and figure out if you're a threat. If you could possibly be the type of person that will commit violent acts in the future. How are they going to do this? I don't know. Probably use an algorithm. Algorithm is just a mathematical way to recognize a pattern. Okay. How many of you have said digitally, not just to somebody else in public, but where it can be traced? Anything done digitally, like these videos, a text, an email, whatever. That's forever. That is somewhere. The NSA probably has that information. Now, they say they shut down their supercomputer in Utah because it was just collecting too much metadata and the system was overloaded. Well, that's what I would say too, if I had a machine like that. You don't need a central hub. Skynet does not need a central core. Cloud backup works for everything, for everybody, especially if they're the only ones who know how to access the information. Okay, so Brian Babin, Dan Crenshaw, several others, this is a bipartisan sponsored bill, which means both sides really like it, which got my attention very quickly. This is right up there with the National Defense Authorization Act that was going to suspend people's constitutional rights to representation if they declared you were a terrorist. On U.S. soil, they could hold you indefinitely without charging you. That's unconstitutional, especially if you're an American citizen. Now, they want to extend constitutional rights to anybody who sets their foot on our beloved soil, but they want to suspend the rights of people who are born here and actually have those rights. Interesting concept.
Indeed, they can access the whole of the data online. They can hide it, manipulate it, and process it with algorithms and AI. And given both sides are the left wing and the right wing of the same dirty bird, they, of course, both sides will support it. It is a key to their ultimate goal. My stance is that the bill is unethical, irrespective of the document said to be controlling one area on our planet defined with imaginary lines called countries. To be sure, if they clamp down in one area, the rest of the planet will follow. As to giving rights to humans who came into this area and taking them away from ones born here, what a lovely contentious divide they can use. Interesting concept indeed.
So, people are held up because of their former courageous acts of heroism and bravery. And then they do things like this, and I don't think they necessarily consider the full weight and consequences of what this will be.
Yes, they promote the idolizing of heroes, making it easier to use the heroes to their ends, as the idolizers excuse the issues and think the heroes must be doing good. It's not that the heroes haven't considered the full weight, but that they either are in on it or are compromised, paid off, blackmailed, threatened.
Ever see the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise? I don't blame you if you haven't. Anyway, it was about an agency that investigated free crime because they had these weird people that could figure out what you were going to do in the future, and they would arrest you for a murder before you committed it. Very Orwellian. Very. So, what this new law seeks to do, and there's a link in the description of this video, don't take my word for it. Look at Brian Babin's page. He's the sponsor of this bill. He will tell you exactly what it's supposed to do. You see, they always take tragedy and they plant the seeds of tyranny in the blood of the dead.
Minority Report was likely some of their predictive programming. This bill is pre-crime efforts indeed. Orwellian is an understatement. And they are using fake blood in which to plant the seed. As long as we think it's real, the seed of tyranny will sprout. Thus the censoring of those who see the fakery.
Are you anti-government? Are you a radical? Are you dangerous? If you can think for yourself, there are people out there who think you are. Unfortunately, those people pull the levers of power.
Yes, I am anti-control mind, government. Yes, I am a radical. They are a radical problem which needs a radical solution. No, I am not dangerous, staunchly upholding ethics. Unless, of course, the question is whether I am dangerous to their Orwellian power structure. I would never kill them, but the structure? Yes, I would take that down. So, likely they think I am dangerous.
This is tyranny. That's exactly what it is.
Yes, indeed, Kyle, this is tyranny. But by whom? Who are the tyrants? Who are they? They work hard to make it seem that the tyranny is coming from inside the imaginary lines defining this country, for those who see the problem. But money equals power, power over others, and given well over half our planet's wealth is owned by fewer than 100 individuals, and money knows no boundaries, I suggest we look beyond this country to a global effort, a new world order. Many of the events in the news that show evidence of being staged happen around the globe. I suggest that they own all the major corporations on our planet, including the control minds they create the illusion are ours. Yes, the USA is a corporation. yourself what corporation would allow Joe Public to choose its officers, its CEO, president, and all the other positions. Does a vote really matter? I can't name names, as I suspect the true they are not ones we can see, but I can say by the behavior they choose that they are psychopaths. They are the psychopaths presently in control, and I say we can solve for this radical problem with a peaceful, radical solution. Time is running out, for when they have fully clamped down on our data access, censoring us radicals, we will be unable to share awareness of any solution. And the boot will be fully placed on our combined face.
Taps. You can hear it playing. They play it at military funerals. They play it when they strike the colors.
Taps for humanity's freedom? Let's play reveille for humanity by sharing awareness of a solution to this radical problem of psychopaths in control. In closing, I ask the viewer to watch the whole of Kyle's video, linked below, and also the playlist on my YouTube channels Amaterasu Solar or Amaterasu Solar Again. Together, we can create better for humanity than what is being created for us now. Amaterasu Solar, shill for humanity. Love always. Humanity will win.